Live on YouTube, live on Rumble. Good afternoon, hello, welcome to This Date in History, aka TDH. I am Alexander, UVRU. We will be joined by the Golden Moon here shortly. Today is, of course, Freya's Day, aka Friday, June 5th, 2026. Tomorrow's a big day, D-Day, Operation Overlord, all that jazz, but, we'll get to that tomorrow. As for today, this show is about interesting and important events that happened throughout the annals of recorded history. We have a 36-page document to go through today, not too shabby. So, starting us off in the year 70, Titus and his Roman legions breached the middle wall of Jerusalem. We've been talking about the siege of Jerusalem over the past couple of days here and there and everything. So that's when this happened. Moving on up to 754, Frisian robbers murdered Bishop Boniface, who was later a saint, and over 50 companions near Dockham. Wow, that's a bloodbath right there. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
How you doing?
I'm doing well.
Awesome. 830, Theodora was crowned Byzantine Empress and married then Emperor Theophilos in the Hagia Sophia. She was credited with restoring Christian orthodoxy and icons. Oh, well, thank you, Theodora. Epic. 1257, Krakow, Poland received city rights. Awesome. Oh, good old Krakow. 1283, we have the Battle of the Gulf of Naples. Roger of Lauria, Admiral to King Peter III of Aragon, destroyed the Neapolitan fleet and captured Charles of Salerno. Now we have a discrepancy here, because that said 1283. 1284, we have Charles of Salerno was captured by Roger of Laurina during a naval battle in the Gulf of Naples, part of the Sicilian Vespers uprising. And according to secondary sources, it's the same exact article. So is it 1283 or 1284? Like 1 year might not make a difference, but if they're willing, if I did a screw up last year, putting in 3 instead of 4 because they're right next to each other on the keyboard, then, that's just me. But, I mean, what's stopping them from just, doing a little change here, a little change there, and then 100 years later, it's completely, wackadoo, 1288, Battle of Warrington, Jan I, Duke of Brabant, defeated an army of Archbishop Siegfried II of Cologne, one of the largest and fiercest battles of the Middle Ages. Yeah, and this being one of the more important victors, John I, Duke of Brabant. Okay. 1610, the Masked Trithys Festival was performed at Whitehall Palace to celebrate the investiture of Henry Frederick, Prince of Wales. So if I read that correctly, they're celebrating him investing, and then they throw a whole thing. Pretty interesting. 1632, no, not that one. 1644, the Qing Dynasty Manchu forces led by the Shuzi Emperor took Beijing during the collapse of the Ming Dynasty. That's big.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1661, Isaac Newton was admitted as a student to Trinity College, Cambridge. That's pretty cool. 1794, U.S. Congress passed the Neutrality Act, banning Stadians from serving in foreign armed forces. So if you were, at least with that act, if you're a sovereign, citizen of the United States, you're not allowed to fight for the French Foreign Legion. You're not allowed to fight for this. So wouldn't that be like an impediment of freedom? Wow. So, you're free to do as you wish as long as what you wish is what I wish. It sounds like, So.
Well, I get where they're coming from there.
Yeah. But that's still that ain't right.
Yeah.
1798, the Battle of New Ross, the attempt to spread United Irish Rebellion into Munster was defeated. 1 year after that, naturalist Alexander von Humboldt and Amy Buplin set sail in the Pizarro from a Corona, Spain, beginning their 5-year expedition to Latin America. All right. That's weird. They spelled it Latin American here. So that's weird. 1805, we have the first recorded tornado in Tornado Alley, specifically southern Illinois. Okay. 1 year after that, first trotter to break 3-minute mile, Yankee. So I guess a horse?
Yeah. A trotter is the step that they use. It's not like a full gallop.
A trot. Yeah. So, and that's as fast as I went, when I was a kid on horses. Remember Camp Buckaroo?
Yeah.
And Cisco and all that stuff?
Yeah.
I got up to a trot, but that's as fast as I would go. 1806 as well, Batavian Republic became the Kingdom of Holland. Well, happy birthday, Holland, I guess. At least name change birthday. So, 1817, the first Great Lakes steamer, the Frontenac, was launched. That's what this vessel is right here. The one in the back, of course. It's a steamer, not whatever this is. So,
yeah.
But yeah, I want to image search because there's a couple of cool images of this vessel here. Like I was gonna use this because that looks like it belongs on a wall. That's an awesome painting, you know. But like this gave it a little bit more depth. You know, there's just a little bit more, chutzpah, so to speak, in that. And that's just a black and white of that same exact thing.
Yeah.
So, and we have this. Now this is vastly different. It's supposed to be the same.
Model.
Yeah.
Doesn't even look the same.
I know, that's what I'm saying. It's the Frontenac. It's the same ship, as far as names, but it's not. This one had unless they took the mast off.
Didn't look the same at all.
I don't know. It kind of does and kind of doesn't. So, anyway, moving on up. 1827, Turks captured the Acropolis and took Athens during the Greek War of Independence. 1829, HMS Pickle captured the armed slave ship Voladara off the coast of Cuba. Armed slave ship, yeah. 1832, anti-monarchist forces launched an uprising in Paris, starting the unsuccessful June Rebellion. So, if your other source says the June Rebellion broke out in Paris in an attempt to overthrow the monarchy of Louis Philippe. But it did not work, it seemed.
Louis Philippe?
Philippe.
Oh, Philippe.
Not the Leap. Louis Philippe.
Gotcha.
Right here.
Yeah,
Or Louis Philippe, I guess, because it's French. 1833, future first computer programmer Ada Lovelace met mathematician and inventor Charles Babbage. That's pretty cool. 1837, Houston was incorporated by the Republic of Texas, good old city of Houston. Yeah. Here it is, Houston, capital of Texas, 1837. So this is when, a map of what it actually looked like back at the time. And look, you have the bayou right here. Like this is, here, let me pull this out really quick so we can see it a lot bigger. But it has all the streets: Travis, Milan, Louisiana, Maine, Fan, San Jacinto, Person, Carolina. If any of these streets are still around, that'd be cool. What is this? They have like a ditch right there with bridges.
Yeah.
It's really interesting.
They have all kinds of little creeks in
Like I could sit here and stare at this map for hours. Like this is phenomenal. Oh, well, right here the gallows going this way. Yeah. So, what else do we got here? 1846, telegraph line opened between Philadelphia and Baltimore. Pretty cool. Now they can talk. 2 years later, we have the statue of Prince William the Silent, Prince of Orange by Ludwig Royer, unveiled in the Hogs Het Plein, whatever that is.
I have no idea.
I don't either. Here's a statue right here. So it's a pretty cool statue. Looks like he's like doing a finger gun or something. So, 1849, Danish National Day. Denmark became a constitutional monarchy. Excellent. And then that happened because they signed a new constitution. 1851, anti-slavery novel Uncle Tom's Cabin by Harriet Beecher Stowe, first published in serial form in the National Era. Other source says here, the title Uncle Tom's Cabin, or Life Among the Lowly, started a 10-month run in the National Era abolitionist newspaper. Freaking awesome. I gotta get that book. Like, that like, to every human on Earth, that is an absolute must book. Like, there's a lot of books, like a lot of books that are must-have for every person, like Uncle Tom's Cabin, is being one of them. Like, am I wrong? Like,
no, yeah.
Like, so, 1855, anti-foreign, anti-Roman Catholic, know-nothing parties first convention. I should join that. I sure as shit know nothing. So, anti-foreign, anti-Roman Catholic, know-nothing party. Well, I don't know about this part, and I'm absolutely, not opposed to any religion, but I definitely am a know-nothing. 1857, Walter Woodbury and James Page opened a photo studio in Batavia, or Jakarta. 1861, federal marshals seized arms and gunpowder at DuPont's works in D.E., Delaware. 1862, as the Treaty of Saigon was signed, ceding parts of southern Vietnam to France, the guerrilla leader Truong Dinh decided to defy Emperor Tu Duc of Vietnam and fight on against the Europeans. That's not good. That's some insubordination right there.
Wow.
1863, the CSS Alabama captured Talisman in the mid-Atlantic. What is that? Like, it has to be another vessel or something. Let's see here. South Atlantic Expeditionary Raid. So they had, they commenced shortly after the Confederate States Navy ship CSS Alabama left Haiti and the Caribbean Sea and cruised south towards Brazil in the South Atlantic Ocean. The raid lasted from about the beginning of February 1863 to the end of July the next year, or the same year. The primary area of operation during this expeditionary raid was the Atlantic seaboard of South America, starting from the northern end of Brazil and ranging up and down along the Brazilian coast, before finally heading east towards southern Africa. Alright, well, I'm going to add this into here. CSS Alabama Expedition. Anybody wants to read more about that, that link and all the others we will collect throughout the show will be in the underbar description section. There's already a lot of cool links down there for you guys, including unlimited to all things Omni Coalition and all of our sources. 1864, Battle of Piedmont, Virginia, Augusta City. That sounds like a whatever article, but according to other sources, during the American Civil War, Battle of Piedmont, Union forces under General David Hunter defeated a Confederate army at Piedmont, Virginia, taking nearly 1,000 prisoners.
Ooh,
that's a hit. 1866, French colonial expedition to explore Mekong River, the world's 12th longest through Southeast Asia, sets out from Saigon, led by Ernest Dodard de la Grey. 1870, the Great Fire of Pera in a district of Constantinople, the wealthiest part of the city, killed hundreds. Well, eat the rich. 1873, Sultan Bargas bin Said, under British pressure, closed the infamous slave market of Zanzibar in modern-day Tanzania. Good. They stopped the slave trade. So, 1875, Pacific Stock Exchange formally opened in San Francisco. We covered that yesterday. 1 year after that, bananas became popular in the U.S. as a Centennial Exposition in Philadelphia. Huh. And so
think about bananas.
Yeah. I personally find them rather appealing.
Oh.
Actually, can you go to that box, please? Right over there? That one box? I have a hat there I'd like to wear, now that we mentioned it.
Oh, no. I know what you're talking about.
1878, U.S. outlaw John Wesley Hardin, convicted of the murder of Deputy Sheriff Charles Webb, sentenced to 25 years in prison. I just had to, put on good old banana hat.
Banana hat.
Did you hear the 25 years in prison thing?
Yeah.
He was outlawed and everything. 1879, the Zungi Mountains skirmish took place between British and Zulu forces during the second invasion of the Zulu Kingdom. So that's the first Boer War, I believe. Or, I think. I'm not sure. It's about the right time, though. 1882, storm and floods hit Bombay. About 100,000 died.
Ooh.
Wow, storm and floods. So.
Wow.
1883, the first regularly scheduled Orient Express departed Paris. Now, this is something interesting. I looked up this article, and they got this. So, the Orient Express isn't one particular line, but there's difference.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So, like, right here it says the Orient Express, 1883 through 1914, 1919 through 1939, 1945 through 1962, with connection over water in the Black Sea until 1889, and that's this red line right here. So, so that's specifically what I just read, and then there's this green line, there's blue, purple, and yellow, but this is all different routes of the Orient Express.
Oh, okay.
And what's really interesting is, like, we think of the Orient, and, that's something, like that's for Asia. Asia's the Orient. None of them touches Asia. I mean, they all, we either end at Athens, or the rest all end at Istanbul. And that's still Europe. So there's nothing Orient about it, unless you're like you're going towards it, but you're not ending up there.
Now, how do they connect over into London over there? That's a little iffy.
Well, not in any time, because like the yellow one here. Arburg Orient Express, 1930, 39, 1945 to 62. So the blue was only between those. So it always. Between the blue and the purple, it looks like it started at Calais. Blue went to London. But you're right, there was no Channel Tunnel or anything at the time.
No, there wasn't. 1930, 1939, 45 to 62. 45 to 62, when was the channel open? I think it was in the late 60s somewhere.
Okay.
Maybe 70s.
So maybe it just missed it. But maybe they just, they put it on a barge or something. I don't know how they crossed
yeah, that's kind of weird.
What's it called?
Channel.
English Channel, yes. 1884, William Tecumseh Sherman refused the Republican presidential nomination, saying, quote, "I will not accept if nominated and will not serve if elected," end quote. Wow! What an absolute Chad, dude. Like, he was like, he looks incredibly serious. That photo right there.
Yeah.
But man, like that is an incredible statement. 1888, unusual Rio de la Plata earthquake took place, measuring magnitude 5.5. I'd like to know if there's any injuries, deaths, damage, numbers.
Yeah.
I need numbers. We also have U.S. Democrats nominated Grover Cleveland for president. All right. 1893, the trial of Lizzie Borden for the murder of her father and stepmother began in New Bedford, Massachusetts. Have you heard of the rhyme?
Lizzie Borden took an axe,
Yeah.
gave her mother 40 whacks. When she saw what she had done, she gave her father 41.
All right, don't need to look it up then. Awesome, thank you. 1900, Pretoria, capital of Boer Republic of South Africa, fell to the British, led by General Buller. Yep. 1902, Emperor Wilhelm II responded to growing demands from Polish and other Slavic peoples living within German territory by calling for more Germanization of the Slavs. It's not going to be the last time we hear that word. Germanization. That's a difficult word to pronounce there. 1906, determined to keep peace with Britain as a major naval power, the German Reichstag passed new Navy legislation increasing the total tonnage of Germany's fleet. They don't want to be outdone. 1911, Red Sox Joe Woods struck out 3 pinch hitters in 9th for 5-4 win. 1 year later, U.S. Marines invaded Caymanera in Cuba. Why? What? We're invading things all over the place with the Marines. What the hell? 1913, Dutch disability laws went into effect. I'm going to do a surface level scratch of this because I want to know what these laws entail specifically. Okay, well this is just going to give me a thing. Like, it's going to require some, we're part of the Invalidity Act, steered by Minister A.S. Talma and implemented by the, good lord, you pronounce this word. Like, according to AI, though, so take that with a grain of salt. 1915, Denmark amended its constitution to allow women's suffrage. Excellent. 365 days later, Louis Brandeis, at the age of 59, was sworn in as Associate Justice of the Supreme Court of the United States, serving until 1939. And he was also the first U.S. Jew to hold such a position, according to other sources. So, that's wild. Now, wait a minute. At the age of 59, this can't be right. Hold on a second. Let's do some basic math here. Okay, what's 39 minus 16 equals 23. Okay, so 23 plus 59. He was 82 when he dude, we've been having geriatrics in that shit since the turn of the century. What the fuck? Like, that's ridiculous. He needs, we gotta put like a term limit and age limit, on these positions.
Well, age limit's a little tough. I mean, you can just compare our last 2 presidents.
Okay.
So,
I don't support either of them.
it doesn't. I'm not saying supporting. I'm talking age.
Yeah.
That's why it's irrelevant. One of them's really capable. One of them not so much.
It's completely irrelevant because there needs to be a cutoff. I don't.
Why?
Because I would.
A perfectly capable man may not be, or woman.
I would rather not run the risk of having somebody incapable to give someone capable the right. I'd rather just not.
Nah.
No, I'd rather just not, because we're talking about the entire country here, and you saw what Brandon did. You want to risk that by giving somebody the right above a cutoff? No, enough. I'm sorry.
No, I disagree.
You know what? Let's add that to IOYO. That's a great topic. So let's see here. IOYO. Well, where is it? Okay. Age limits in politics. I'll just put that in there. That should be enough to remember things. 1916, the Sharif Hussein proclaimed a revolt of the Arabs in the province of Hijaz, an action that undermines the Turkish Empire. So it says here, 1916, in World War I, the Arab revolt against the Ottoman Empire broke out. 1917, 10 million U.S. men began registering for the draft of World War I. The conscription began in the U.S. as Army Registration Day. 1920, the first rivet driven on Bank of Italy headquarters at One Powell in San Francisco, later Bank of America. And you want to know why they changed their name?
We talked about this once before. I knew it was the Bank of Italy originally, so why they changed their name?
In order to, like it's all about labeling and manipulation. They see Bank of Italy, it's just another bank. They see Bank of America, oh, I can trust this. Yeah. It's of America. No.
Bank of Italy is a foreign bank.
Yes, it absolutely is. The Bank of America is a foreign bank. People don't realize that. 1920 as well, Philadelphia Athletics VP Thomas Shive denied charges that baseballs are livelier. What, do they become sentient or something? What the hell? Like...
Well, the way they manufacture them. There was a dead ball area where they say it wasn't as lively.
We talked about that a while ago, remember? Like how they changed like how a baseball was made or something. There was an article a long time ago. 22, the Bankers Committee of the Reparations Commission refused an international loan to Germany. Germany just getting their teeth kicked in constantly. 1 century ago, 1926, Cleveland Indians baseball team triple play New York Yankees and win 15-3. Wow, that's 5-1 right there. 1933, U.S. dropped the gold standard when Congress enacted a joint resolution nullifying creditors' right to demand payment in gold. 365 days later, 1934, we have the first formal meeting of Baker Street irregulars in New York City. What is that? I looked this up, the image search, something went wrong. Okay, that's weird. Okay. There we go. The Baker Street Irregulars. What is this? It's an organization of Sherlock Holmes people. That's right, Baker Street. Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I never put two and two together.
I
So,
didn't connect.
Baker Street Irregulars. We covered that a couple days ago or so. Like something about like somebody started it or something. The Baker Street Irregulars is an organization of Sherlock Holmes enthusiasts founded in 1934 by Christopher Morley. As of 2015, the nonprofit organization had about 300 members worldwide. That's not a lot. The group has published the Baker Street Journal, an irregular quarterly of Sherlockania, since 1946. Members of the society participate in The Game, you just lost by the way, which postulates that Holmes and Dr. Watson were real and Sir Arthur Conan Doyle was merely Watson's literary agent. Okay, that's going a little too far. You know.
What do you mean I lost?
Not you. Well, there's a thing on the it's a meme on the internet like The Game, you just lost. Like if you think of the game, you lost the game. The only way to win the game is not to think of it. You know, it's a whole it all started in 4chan and all that stuff. However, I am immune to the game, for I have in my wallet, if I can find it, I have way too many cards. Here we go. I have the Platinum Angel. And it says here, you can't lose the game and your opponents can't win the game. So I cannot lose the game. I'm immune. You know? And
You have way too many cards.
I've had that card in my wallet since the game started. You know? So 1937, Henry Ford initiated a 32-hour work week. And not because he gave a shit about his employees, he just wanted to make sure that they had enough time off for them to be as productive as possible. Henry Ford was a monster.
Wait a minute, he instituted a 32-hour work week.
Yeah.
Well, the standard is 40 hours today.
Yeah, we're talking about 1937.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But I would have thought it would have been more, like 48 hours or something.
It was. He gave him a lot less hours so they could have more time off, so he can get the good PR, make himself look like a good person.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, he's only giving that time off so they can have enough time, just enough time to refresh for max, productivity. He crunched the numbers. He figured out, like, blah, blah, blah. If they work for 3 hours, they need about, 10 minutes of downtime or whatever the number. So he's not doing it for humanitarian reasons. He's doing it for profits. Henry Ford, Hitler idolized Henry Ford. That's how bad he was. Henry Ford is on the same, position as Mussolini in Hitler's eyes. And so he should be viewed as a monster for the rest of humanity. 1940, synthetic rubber tire exhibited in Akron, Ohio by Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company. Ah, what is this? We're not there yet, so I'm just going to image search this really quick. Okay, why do you keep something going wrong? What the fuck? Okay, there we go. Something tells me that Ecosia got bought out by Google because there is a thing there that says try again on Google. So Ecosia might be dying here. I just wanted to, show, look at this this factory. Look at what they took from us. All those jobs.
Yeah.
Man. Well. 1940, the American Negro Theater organized. Okay. 1940, General Charles de Gaulle became French Junior Minister of Defense. All right. We also have General von Bock started a German offensive in the Somme. 1940 as well, Governor of Suriname and the Netherlands Antilles refused entry to Jewish refugees. So, not letting them get out of Germany.
Yeah.
So, 1940 as well, Governor of Suriname. Oh, yeah, we got that one. Netherlands rationed petroleum. And we also have World War II, the Battle of France, Fall Rot, or Case Red. Germany invaded northern France, crossing the River Somme. So after a brief lull in the Battle of France, the Germans renewed the offensive against the remaining French divisions south of the River Somme in Operation Fall Rot, also known as Case Red. 1941, German ammunition depot at medieval Smederevo Fortress near Belgrade, Serbia, exploded, killing close to 2,000 people. That's a lot of people work around there, and I mean, look at all those munitions. One goes off, they all go off, and it's gonna really not be good. 1941, during World War II, at least 4,000 people who hid in a tunnel died after a Japanese air attack on the Chinese city of Chongqing because they were asphyxiated.
Oh.
Yeah. They got into a bomb shelter, but there was no all the I guess any air ventilation, anything got.
Asphyxiated is different than smothering. So asphyxiated means something.
I'm not saying they got smothered. Asphyxiated means they can't breathe.
Right.
So that means that they got bombed so much that there was no air to travel, from like any ventilation, and it's gone. So they all died. 1942, an explosion at the Joliet Army ammunition plant killed 48 people. Only 48. That's really low. That's kind of miraculous when you think about it. 1942, USA declared war on Bulgaria, Hungary, and Romania. We also have German occupiers in 1943 arrested Leuven University's chancellor. I'd like to know why. I'm going to do a surface level scratch of that article really quick. Why they arrested the university's chancellor? Split of the Catholic University of Leuven. Okay. Well, this is going on about 1967. That's nothing to do with what I just talked about. 43, Philippine President Jose P. Laurel survived an assassination attempt after being shot 4 times with a .45 caliber pistol while playing golf at Whack Whack Golf Course in Mandaluyong.
Somebody whacked him.
Well, tried to. So.
You got whacked at Whack Whack.
Well, no, whack means that the hit was successful.
Oh.
He survived the attempt.
I thought you said Whack Whack Golf Course.
I did. I know what joke you're trying to make, but that's only applicable if he actually died, unfortunately. So they tried to whack him at Whack Whack. So. 1944, the first B-29 bombing raid. One plane was lost due to engine failure. I'm going to image search this, but that's what that aircraft is right there. But I wasn't entirely sure. There was one image I really wanted to use, but I'm no aviation expert, but I wanted to use that instead of that other one because that's such a great photo right there.
Yeah.
So, but I'm not sure if that's the same type of plane or whatever. As I said, I'm no aviation enthusiast, and this is the one. That's not the one we used. Where it was somewhere. Whatever. Anyway, 1944 as well, after receiving favorable weather reports, General Eisenhower decided to proceed with the D-Day invasion on June 6th, tomorrow. Yeah. So I spoke about it all, yesterday, the movie Pressure. Go out and see it. It's really good. And, right now, it's the time of the year, literally. It takes place right now in 1944. So
that's why it was released this month.
Yeah, it'd be great. We also have Allied forces marched into Rome. And as part of Operation Tonga, the first British gliders touched down on French soil to prepare for the D-Day invasion. And also, ain't this a bitch? 44. So this is all happening on the same day in 1944.
Yeah.
So German Field Marshal Erwin Rommel, which a lot of people don't realize that he was given command of the Atlantic Wall by Hitler. Erwin Rommel. So he went on leave just before the Allied D-Day landings in World War II. He went back to Berlin to go celebrate his wife's birthday or something.
That's right, I've heard that before.
Yeah. So then he gets a call, and it's like, Scheiße, and then, what do? Do you wake Hitler?
That's what they didn't want to do.
Yeah.
They wouldn't wake him.
Yeah, and because of all that, the freaking German Panzer, whatever the hell, thing that they had, was about a half a day to a day behind schedule to get down there, for a counteroffensive. So, That's why I say, all these dictators and everything, their own hubris, their own ignorance, their own fear-mongering, ultimately is the death of them, 1944 as well. During World War II, more than 1,000 British bombers dropped 5,000 tons of bombs on German gun batteries on the Normandy coast in preparation for D-Day. 45, during World War II, Allied powers, the US, UK, USSR, and France assumed authority over Germany's with the Berlin Declaration regarding the defeat of Germany. So, formally taking power and everything. Loon's time. 1946, Dutch comic strip Eric de Norman, or Neurman, by Hans G. Christie was launched. Yeah, Eric de Norman. Heat Geheim van het
Looks like a Sweden.
Sweden, yes, he's from the Norway. So I just want to image search this really quick because there's a couple comics and everything. It's a graphic novel, so it's a whole thing. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's still around or it's still going at least. So we also have a fire at La Salle Hotel Cocktail Lounge killed 61 people in Chicago, Illinois. 1947, U.S. Secretary of State George Marshall outlined the Marshall Plan. That's not it. To rebuild Western Europe. I want to look this up. Here we go. So Marshall Plan.
Yeah.
So, open image in new tab is gonna. Okay. The Marshall Plan was a U.S. initiative to aid Europe, in which the United States gave $13 billion in economic support to help rebuild European economies after the end of World War I.
Yeah.
So I don't know what all these numbers mean.
It's probably who got what.
Oh, expenditures by country, millions.
Yeah.
So you have Iceland, Ireland, UK, France, Portugal, Switzerland, Italy, Greece, Turkey, Austria, West Germany, Belgium and Luxembourg, Netherlands, Denmark, Norway, and Sweden.
Western Europe.
Western Europe. Yep.
Eastern Europe, Russia's on their own.
Yep. This just gives us more things. Sent $13 billion to Europe, rebuild and revitalize economy, offered to all countries. Soviets and allies did not accept it. Countries that did become U.S. allies, firmly capitalist. Marshall Plan. So.
Yeah.
All right. What else do we got here? 1948. Phillies Richie Ashburn set National League rookie consecutive hitting streak at 23. Okay. 1949. Enid Blyton's wooden toy character Noddy first appeared on the Sunday Graphic. Noddy. Okay, what? Stop something going wrong. Okay, okay, you know what? I'm not going to try on Google. I'm just going to try on Ecosia. There we go. Because Google can go fuck itself. Google can go fuck itself. There we go. Alright, this character. So, and it shows here the design of the character over the years. That's a little weird. 49, he's this. 55, he got all dark. Like his emo phase or something. And then 63 and onward, he was always colorful. Like, seriously, what happened? Like,
Don't know.
that's weird. So, what else do we got here? Get rid of that. 1949, Thailand elected Orpen Shayakian, the first female member of Thailand's parliament. 1950, the U.S. Supreme Court undermined legal foundations of segregation. Good. 52, the first sporting event televised nationally, Jersey Joe Walcott defeated Ezzard Charles in 15 rounds for heavyweight boxing title at Municipal Stadium in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And that's what this is right here, that photo.
Okay.
So, there's a lot of, like angles and everything, but that's the best one that I could find. 1953, Denmark adopted a new constitution. Excellent. We also have U.S. Senate rejected China's People's Republic membership to UN. That was Taiwan, right? I can't tell you because they're all people's this, republic that, the whatever something, like.
China's People's Republic is China.
Okay, so West Taiwan.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not the island.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's West
mainland.
Taiwan.
The mainland.
Yeah, I'm recognizing Thailand as a real China, and everybody who follows under, Winnie the Pooh, that's not real China. So. 54, Pope Pius XII published encyclical Ecclesiae Fastos, honoring St. Boniface and his role in spreading Christianity in Germany and strengthening ties with Rome. 55, New York Yankee Mickey Mantle made 550-foot home run off Chicago Billy Pierce. White Sox player, yeah.
No, Mickey Mantle was the Yankees.
No, the Billy Pierce was White Sox.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying,
So he hit it off.
So, according to, primary source that they edited it. New York Yankees outfielder Mickey Mantle hit a 550 home run off of Chicago White Sox pitcher Billy Pierce. No, do you see here? This right here?
Yeah.
You see that? That's what the source used to say.
Ah.
And this is what the source says right now.
Oh, okay.
And you see how it says primary source edited right there?
Yeah.
That's because like I have the old and the new, and I'm going to combine them into one unified article. But that's why like I make those little things. Oh, he was like a White Sox player. I was talking about Billy Pierce because it says this so down here. It doesn't say so up here.
Right.
So. 1956, Elvis Presley introduced his new single, "You Ain't Nothing But a Hound Dog," crying all the time. On the Milton Berle show, scandalizing the audience with his suggestive hip movements. Yeah, well, looking at the world today, I can't help but feel to be on the side of the prudish adults who thought that rock and roll was the devil's music because the world is now certainly the devil's playground. We invited him in. No. And it's also believed that music was an invention of the devil. So, 57, New York narcotics investigator Dr. Herbert Berger urged AMA to investigate the use of stimulating drugs by athletes. Yeah, I should have listened to him. 59, Bob Dylan graduated from Hibbing High School in Minnesota. All right. 59 as well, the first independent government of the state of Singapore was sworn in with Lee Kuan Yew as prime minister. 1960, the Lake Bottom murders occurred in Finland. 63, British Minister of War John Profumo resigned due to Christine Keeler's scandal, also known as the Profumo affair. I'm going to look up this Profumo affair really quick. Stop going wrong, Ecosia. Profumo affair. Let's see here. It was a major scandal in British politics during the early 1960s. John Profumo, the 46-year-old Secretary of State for War in Harold Macmillan's conservative government, had an extramarital affair with then 19-year-old model Christine Keeler beginning in 1961. Okay, so it's just like one of those things. So, Profumo
Scandal.
Affair. Scandalous. What else do we got here? 1965 or 63, state of siege proclaimed in Iran. Ayatollah Khomeini arrested. So according to other sources, the movement of 15 Khorad protests against the arrest of Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini by the Shah of Iran, Mohammad Reza Pahlavi. In several cities, masses of angry demonstrators were confronted by tanks and paratroopers.
I'll be back.
That's nothing to do with Arnold.
I know, but he came back.
Oh, the Shah?
No, Khomeini.
Oh, Khomeini, yeah.
Became the ruler.
Ah, yeah, unfortunately. 64, Davy Jones and King Bees released debut single "I Can't Help Thinking About Me." Group disbanded, but Davy Jones went on to success as David Bowie.
Oh,
so Davy Jones, is David Bowie.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I didn't either until now. We also have Rolling Stones' first U.S. concert tour with Bobby Goldsboro and Bobby V debuted in San Bernardino, California.
There's some dating. That's the new and the old. Bobby V.
And Bobby Goldsboro.
Yeah.
Oh, Bobby and Bobby. 1964, DSV Alvin was commissioned. And it's one of my absolute favorite submarines. I don't know why, I just love the design of the Alvin. At least this one here from 89 to 2012. Now it's like way too crunched and everything, but like you can see how it used to look like. Like look how cartoony that looks.
Yeah.
So I'm going to image search this really quick because they actually did like build mock-ups. What is going on with Ecosia today? Like look at that weird thing.
Yeah.
Huh. But this is a schematic. Let's see if I can bigger this. Really, no, I can't. But it shows you the interior. Like that's the actual. Like you go in through here, and then there's like a window here, window there. You can see and everything. But this is living area right there. That's it. You can't go back in here or any of that. So, and there was something I wanted to read. What is this? It is a manned deep ocean research submersible owned by the United States Navy and operated by the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution, the WHOI, in Woods Hole, Massachusetts. The vehicle was built by General Mills' Electronics Group 2 in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Named to honor the prime mover and creative inspiration for the vehicle, Alan Vine. Alvin was commissioned on June 5th, 1964. As we just talked about here. The submersible was launched from the Deep Submergence Support Vessel RV Atlantis, AGOR-25, which is also owned by the U.S. Navy and operated by WHOI. The submersible has made more than 4,400 dives, carrying 2 silent scientists and a pilot, so 3 people, to observe the life forms that must cope with super pressures and move about in total darkness, as well as exploring the wreck of Titanic. Research conducted by Alvin has been featured in nearly 2,000 scientific papers. One of the most successful submersibles in all of history, the Alvin. So I knew I loved it for a reason. 1965, Wole Bole, Wole Bole, Wole Bole. Watch it now, watch it, watch it, watch it.
Sam and the Pharaohs.
Yep, hit number 2.
Yeah.
66 as well, Cincinnati Red Leo Cardenas hit 4 home runs in a doubleheader. That's a heck of a streak right there. 67, judge in Peoria, Illinois, sentenced U.S. mass murderer Richard Speck to death in an electric chair after his jury conviction. Later reduced to minimum 100 years in prison. He died of a heart attack in prison in 1991. All right. And until then, taxpayers were funding him. I'm so tired of that crap. 67, Royal Canadian Mint ordered to start converting 10-cent and 25-cent coins to pure nickel as soon as possible. 67, the Six-Day War began between Israel and the neighboring Arab states of Egypt, Jordan, and Syria. So Israel launched surprise strikes against Egyptian airfields in response to the mobilization of Egyptian forces on the Israeli border. So this time, Egypt didn't even hit them first. They hit Egypt first. And how do we not, recognize Israel as the aggressor? I mean, they're literally the aggressor. So, 68, Palestinian Sirhan Sirhan assassinated Robert F. Kennedy, shooting him 3 times and wounding 5 others in the Ambassador Hotel in Los Angeles, California. Kennedy dies the next day. And one of the most cursed families in all of history. 1969, International Communist Conference began in Moscow. 1970, Chile became a member of the Berne Convention Copyright Treaty. Do you remember, that treaty? A lot of the countries worldwide. Berne Copyright Treaty. Berne Copy. We've talked about it a couple of times here. Yeah, the Berne Convention. The Berne Convention for the Protection of Literary and Artistic Works, usually known as the Berne Convention, was an international assembly held in 1886 in the Swiss city of Bern by 10 European countries with the goal of agreeing on a set of legal principles for the protection of original work and intellectual property. Where'd it go? Intellectual property. They drafted and adopted a multi-party contract containing agreements for a uniform border crossing system that became known under the same name. So it started in Switzerland, and now we're talking about, what country was it? Chile. On the other side of the world. Yeah. Bern on a copyright treaty. I know I didn't spell copyrights correctly. R-I-G-H-T. Alright. Okay, so it's... Hold on a second. For whatever reason, it's not recognizing that as a word. What else do we got here? 1970 as well. The Falls Road curfew in Northern Ireland, imposed by the British Army while searching for IRA weapons, was lifted after a march by women breached the British Army cordon. 1972, UN Conference on Human Environment opened in Stockholm. 74, the A's, Reggie Jackson, and Bill North engaged in a clubhouse fight in Detroit. That's not good. They misspelled, they put the apostrophe after the S, not between. It's weird. 1975 as well, 48th U.S. National Spelling Bee, Hugh Tolston won spelling incisor. I could almost spell that. I'd probably say Z instead of S, though. So, 75, Egyptian President Anwar Sadat reopened the Suez Canal, which had been closed since 1967.
Whoa.
Wow. So for the first time since the Six-Day War. 75, the California Agricultural Labor Relations Act, CALRA, which established collective bargaining for farm workers, became law. We covered that yesterday with King Med. 75, United Kingdom electorate voted 67 to 33% in a referendum to remain part of the European Common Market, the EEC. 76, Bigfoot by Bro Smith hit number 7. Oh, that's what this song is right here. It's a very interesting song. So, Bigfoot. I'm gonna,
Timber and strong as a bear. Y'all better not go walking out there.
Not bad.
yeah. What else we got here? 1976, after a suspected Republican bombing killed 2 Protestant civilians in a pub, the Ulster Volunteer Force killed 5 civilians in a gun and bomb attack at the Shore Lane Bar, North Ireland. You know, maybe Britain stops with their colonialism. You know, that'll stop too. But only one way to find out. Free Ireland. 1976, the Teton Dam in Idaho burst, caused $1 billion in damage and resulting in 14 deaths. I actually have an image of that. Look at that.
Oh.
That's, you know, pop like a cork. What else do we got here? 1977, coup in St. Chili's. That's their national day. Okay, I've never heard of St. Chili's, but cool. 77 as well, Los Angeles Dodger retired future Baseball Hall of Fame manager Walter Alston's number 24. And we have the National Council of Women of Kenya, led by Wangari Maathai, marched to Kamunji Park in Nairobi and planted 7 trees, beginning of the Green Belt movement. Epic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. 79, well, St. Chili's adopted the Constitution. Okay, so it's their national day and their Constitution. So we spoke about St. Chili's twice. That's pretty cool. 81, AIDS epidemic officially began when U.S. Centers for Disease Control reported on pneumonia affecting 5 homosexual men in Los Angeles. 81 as well, MLB Houston Astros pitcher Nolan Ryan passed early win as all-time walk leader, 1,777. Wow. 81, MLB Houston Astros pitcher, we got that one. 81 as well, world's first Today in History program with edible data today, invented by Michael Butler, run for the first time on a mainframe computer. So basically, you know, like something like our source.
Yeah.
Like, you know, they have computerized documentation of historical evidence.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
The Morbidity and Mortality Weekly Report of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention reported that 5 people in Los Angeles, California have a rare form of pneumonia seen only in patients from weakened immune systems in what turns out to be the first recognized cases of AIDS. We already talked about this here, so I guess I didn't recognize that was supposed to be with that article. So yeah, HIV. What else we got here? 1982, Murphy's Law by Sherry hit number 39, and here's Murphy's Law. Yeah, this is the underbar section. Yeah, it's a cool little song. 1982 as well, Waterfront Streetcar began operating in Seattle. All right. 1983, more than 100 people are killed when the Russian river cruise ship Alexander Suvorov collided with the girder of the Ulyanovsk Railway Bridge. Ulyanovsk Railway Bridge. The collision caused a freight train to derail, further damaging the vessel, yet the ship remained afloat and was eventually restored and returned to service. Holy crap. So, let's see, are you going to crap out again? No, you're not. Okay, are you going to... There we go. This is from a YouTube video, so right here. So if you want to know more about bridge versus ship, and I'm going to see this myself after the show, but let's see here. Bridge v. ship. I'm going to add this link in the underbar section as well, so we can learn a little bit more about that particular event history. 1984, Indira Gandhi ordered an attack on Sikhs' holiest site, the Golden Temple in Amritsar. We spoke about that, something like that, the other day. 84 from other source, Operation Blue Star, under orders from India's Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, not related with Mahatma Gandhi. Yeah. The India Army began an invasion of the Golden Temple, the holiest site of the Sikh religion.
Yikes.
I mean, the only reason for something like that would be to completely eradicate that religion from the country. Because why else would you attack the holiest sites? You know? Like...
I don't know. And
as the entire world is starting to realize about a certain religion, it's got to go. 85, Steve Carlton won aboard Slip Anchor at Epsom Downs to become the only jockey to win both the Kentucky Derby in 1978 and the Derby. Those are 2 different derbies. 86, San Diego Padres Steve Garvey ejected for first time in his 16-year MLB career for arguing about Atlanta's triple play. Ao's time, 1987, Nightline presented its first town meeting. The subject was AIDS, and the show ran until 3:47 a.m. Who's still awake? We also have Dwight Gooden return from drug rehabilitation and allows wins game. It's weird. Wins the game, I guess. And allows wins game. Yeah.
It's not written right.
Yeah, well, they changed it. Yeah, so. 88, first Children's Miracle Network telethon raised $590,000. Epic. 88 as well, Kay Cote sailed into Sydney as the first woman to circle the globe alone. How are we so sure that she did that, though? You know? Did she have, like, the receipts, the GPS data, or the map, data, like cartography? Like,
I'm sure she had certain things where she came into different ports and stuff like that.
yeah. 88 as well, longest champagne cork fight is, or flight, 177 feet 9 inches in New York. Okay, so,
Popping a cork.
yeah. That's a long flight. 88, Russian Orthodox Church celebrates its 1000th anniversary. 1989, Toronto Blue Jays Sky Dome Stadium open. Milwaukee Brewers won 5-3. We also have the Tank Man, right here. Halted the progress of a column of advancing tanks for over half an hour after the Tiananmen Square protests of 1989. Now, it's really funny. Our primary source here, they use, you've seen it, this image. But this is not an article on their site. I only get it from a secondary source.
That's weird.
So they won't talk about the Tank Man, but they'll use this image when talking about Tiananmen Square all over the place, but they won't talk about the actual instance. Something tells me, that China in part owns this primary source. It's obviously leftist. It's very obviously Britain. So, like, in 1990 as well, South African troops plunder Nelson Mandela's home. Yeah. 1 year later, now this one I find incredibly, this has to be propaganda. Lesbian priest Elizabeth Carl ordained in Episcopal Church, Washington, D.C. First off, I don't think people were outspoken in 91 about that, number one. Number two, I have a feeling that this article is a straight up outright fabrication to push the homosexual agenda. Because who's out of the closet in 91? You didn't do that back then. So, especially in religion, in Christianity, no. Something's very fishy about this article. 91 as well, Mikhail Gorbachev received his 1990 Nobel Peace Prize. Excellent. Good old continent head, 93, Living on the Edge by Aerosmith hit number 18. And I just want to showcase this first part. This reminds me of stuff that happens, right now. This is juvenile kids going around, just causing damage and everything. No repercussions. But then look at this. Wham! What's the point of that?
There's something wrong with the world.
So, I mean, there absolutely is something wrong with the world today. Living on the edge. If you want to watch that music video later on, that'll be in the end of our description below. What else do we got here? 1993, Somali warlord Adidas murdered 23 Pakistani peacekeepers. It says here, now it says Somali warlord Mohammed Farah murdered 23 UN peacekeepers from Pakistan. But it used to say Adidas, and now his name has changed. That's weird. Huh. 93 as well, portions of the Holbeck Hall Hotel in Scarborough, North Yorkshire, UK, fell into the sea following a landslide. Oops. No escape from reality. I just want to show you, why does this keep doing that? Here we go. You can kind of see right there.
Oh my.
Yeah. But this is, I wanted to use this picture, but it's too small. But look at that. Just, the top floor.
Yeah.
It's wild. What else we got here? 94, 7th Children's Miracle Network Telethon. But how much did it raise? Didn't tell me. What the hell?
No.
Here we go again. 94, Spalding Gray's one-man show, Gray's Anatomy, opened an encore run at Beaumont Theater in New York City, running for 8 performances. I wonder if that has anything to do with the show, Gray's Anatomy. Huh. 95, the Bose-Einstein condensate was first created. I gotta look that up really quick. What is this Bose-Einstein condensate? Here we go. It is a state of matter that is typically formed when a gas of bosons is at very low densities is cooled to temperatures very close to absolute zero. Huh. Alright. So, whoops, didn't mean to do that there. Hold on a second. There we go. Bose-Einstein condensate. you want to read a little bit more about that, that'll be there. What else do we got here? 1997, the Second Republic of the Congo Civil War began. 98, The Truman Show, starring Jim Carrey, Laura Linney, and Ed Harris, was released.
That was
very,
weird.
very good and very, relevant movie to today. I believe they killed and cloned Jim Carrey because, the new one is just absolutely, it's not him. His eye color has changed, his mannerism has changed. Jim Carrey is a left-hander, this other guy's a right-hander.
How do you know so much about Jim Carrey?
Just watching stuff online. Like
I thought he retired or something.
Well, no, he came back for the Sonic movies as Dr. Eggman for whatever reason.
Never heard of that.
Well, you don't spend any time online.
Apparently not.
Yeah. 98, a strike began at the General Motors parts and factory in Flint, Michigan, that quickly spread to 5 other assembly plants. The strike lasted 7 weeks. The year 2000, we're finally, in the home stretch here. Armed conflict between Rwanda and Uganda erupted in Kisangani, a city in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Between Ugandan and Rwandan forces, a large part of the city was destroyed. 2001, OPEC ministers agreed to leave the cartel's oil production quotas unchanged for at least a month until a scheduled emergency meeting on July 3rd. We also have Tropical Storm Allison made landfall on the upper Texas coastline as a strong tropical storm and dumped large amounts of rain over Houston. The storm caused $5.5 billion in damages, making Allison the costliest tropical storm in U.S. history. Now it apparently is the second costliest, according to secondary source. So I wonder what the first one is now, because this is 2001. So it's been 25 years. So we've since had an even worse one. I just don't know which one though. We also have U.S. Senator Jim Jeffords left the Republican Party, an act which shifted control of the United States Senate from the Republicans to the Democratic Party. 2002, Space Shuttle Endeavour launched on STS-111, carrying Expedition 5 crew to the International Space Station, the ISS, to replace the Expedition 4 crew. Astronaut Franklin Change Diaz became the second person to have flown on 7 space flights.
Whoa.
That's a lot.
That is.
And there's I think there's only one person who's been on all 5 of the space shuttles. I think there's only 1 or 2 people, and you can't even get on 2 of them anymore. So, the Challenger and the what was the other one that exploded?
I don't know. Oh, I only know the one.
There's a Challenger.
Yeah.
And then there's another one that blew up on re-entry.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You didn't. I'm surprised. Shuttle. Re-entry explosion. I think it was the Columbia? Yeah, the Columbia. February 1st, 2003. Yeah, they exploded on re-entry. 2004, Noël Mirabilis celebrated marriage for 2 men for the first time in France. Cool. Whoop-de-doo. Who cares? 2006, Serbia declared independence from the State Union of Serbia and Montenegro. All right. 2007, Messenger spacecraft performed a second flyby of Venus. Cool. We also have Paul McCartney released Memory Almost Full in the U.S. His 14th solo studio album was the first release on Starbucks' Hair Music label. So now he's involved with Starbucks now? Not surprised. 2009, at least 32 people are killed in Peru during clashes between the police and indigenous protesters. Yikes. Near Bagua, Peru specifically. 2009 as well, Chile officially entered recession. It is the first South American country to enter the global recession. 2009 as well, a fire at a daycare center killed 49 people in Hermosillo, Mexico. 2011, did he not cover the Venus thing already? I guess not. Or was that 2016? Maybe it's 2016. I don't know. There's some. Oh no, we're almost there. Okay. 2011. U.S. actress Chloe Grace Moretz won 3 MTV Movie Awards, and 3 TV awards. Best Breakthrough Performance, Best Hero, and Biggest Badass Star. What the fuck does that even mean?
I don't know.
I think it's because she's a female. They're just trying to.
know who
Oh my
that
God! You're the queen. You're the female. You're the empress of the world because you have the, whatever. Oh, who cares? 2012 U.S. gubernatorial recall election was held in Wisconsin. Governor Scott Walker won and became the first governor to survive a recall election. 2012,
Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. Conservative political nonprofit organization Turning Point USA was founded by Charlie Kirk and Bill Montgomery to advocate for conservatism in high school, college, and university campuses. And now his widow is just completely destroying the entire thing. We also have last transit of Venus until the year 2117. Do you remember what a transit is?
What?
It's when you can observe the planet going across.
Yeah.
So you won't be able to see Venus transiting again until 2117.
Wow.
The last
I
time
don't
was...
think I'll be around to see it.
I won't either, but we could have seen it in 2012.
Yeah.
Had I known. So, 2013, 44 people were killed by a lightning storm in Bihar, India. Yikes. That's wild. Like, I've never heard of lightning killing that many people.
No.
So. 2013 as well. The first article based on NSA leaked documents by Edward Snowden were published by the Guardian newspaper in the UK. 2015, a 6.0 magnitude earthquake, the strongest to affect Malaysia since 1978, struck Ranau, Sabah, Malaysia, killing 18 people on Mount Kinabalu. So it says here from the other source, the 18 people included hikers and mountain guides on Mount Kinabalu. After mass landslides that occurred during the earthquake, this was the strongest earthquake to strike Malaysia since 1975. Wow. 2016, Swiss voted to reject referendum to give each citizen a guaranteed income of 2,500 Swiss francs per month. Yeah, where does that come from? The taxpayers.
Yeah.
Oh. 2017, Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, and Egypt severed ties with Qatar, citing its support of terrorist groups. Yemen, the Maldives, and Libya followed suit. 2017 as well, a bus crashed with a truck in Bareilly, Uttar Pradesh, India. 22 people died in resulting fire.
Mm.
How do you die in a fire like that? Like that many people? Move, get out of there. Unless they were trapped. Yeah, 2017, Montenegro became the 29th member of NATO. NATO has got to be shut down. Puerto Rico declared its Zika virus epidemic over. Let's not forget, the Zika virus came out of a Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, research facility, as part of their attempts to cull human civilization, population decrease, control, all that stuff. 2018, U.S. boxer Floyd Mayweather Jr. was named 2017 top earning sportsman by Forbes with $285 million. Sportsperson. Shove it up your ass, sportsperson. He's a sportsman. No. 2018, film producer Harvey Weinstein pled not guilty to struggle, snuggle, and sexual assault charges in court in New York City. We all know that was crap. At least his not guilty plea. We all know he's absolutely guilty. So, U.S. Judge Aaron Persky was criticized for his leniency towards campus sex attacker Brock Turner. Became the first judge voted out in 80 years in Santa Clara, California. Good. We also have 2018, U.S. President Donald Trump administration's policy of separating immigrant children from their families violates international law according to the UN. Well, didn't Obama set that up and put all those kids in cages? That was an Obama thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody seems to remember that. Oh. Everybody just pays attention to the color of Obama's skin, which they don't know that he's half white, by genetics. One of his parents was white. 2019, Ohio doctor William Huschel charged with 25 counts of murder for prescribing potentially fatal doses of opioids in Franklin County. He should be executed. 2019 as well. On average, people ingest 50,000 pieces of microplastic a year and breathe a similar amount, according to first ever such study published in journal Environmental Science and Technology. So you're eating and breathing these microplastics, and now they're so small they can pass through the blood-brain barrier. It's surmised that people these days, when they die, they'll have a golf ball size amount of plastic in their brain. That's terrifying. 2021, at least 160 people were killed by suspected Islamist extremists in Ceylon, Burkina Faso, amid a deepening security crisis in the region. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan promised to save the country's shores from a buildup of sea snot or marine mucilage due to pollution and climate change. Sea snot.
Yeah.
That's yuck. What the hell? I don't even want to image search that. That sounds disgusting. 2022, U.S. rocker Bruce Springsteen joins British rock band Coldplay for 2 songs, The Land of Hope and Dreams and Dancing in the Dark, at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. 4 years ago as well, at least 50 Nigerian church worshippers, including children, were killed by gunmen armed with explosives at St. Francis Catholic Church, IOYO, southwestern Nigeria. And you will never hear me say this word, like, it's a meme online. Like, it has something to do with anime and otakus and freaking.
It's OWO?
It's a stupid furry thing, like. 2022 as well, a constitutional referendum was held in Kazakhstan following violent protests and civil unrest against the government. 1 year after that, Australian woman Kathleen Fulberg was pardoned after 20 years in prison for the murder of her 4 children after new genetic research found evidence of gene disorders in the children. So wow, 20 years. Her kids died and she got thrown in for 20 years. That's terrible. If she's innocent. If she's guilty, I hope they execute her. 2023 as well, former U.S. Vice President Mike Pence declared his candidacy for the Republican presidential nomination. We also have in Western Haiti, heavy rain and flooding left at least 42 people dead and thousands displaced. Well, seeing what those people are doing to us in our own country, I don't really have much sympathy for them, unfortunately. I wish I did, but, 2024, Boeing Starliner's crew flight test mission launched aboard an Atlas V rocket from Cape Canaveral with NASA astronauts Butch Wilmore and Suni Williams on the way to the ISS. 3 more articles to go. Sudanese paramilitary group RSF attacked the village of Wad al-Noura in central state of Geizra, killing at least 100 people, forcibly displacing the population. Sudanese, we got that one. World's only surviving wild horse, the Perswalali's horse, was returned to the Golden Steppe of Kazakhstan for the first time in over 200 years. And last and most certainly least, 2025, the Nintendo Switch 2 video game console was released worldwide. What do you fucking do? Who the hell cares about Nintendo? Anyway, that shall conclude the show. Once again, please check the underbar description section below for any links that you may find interesting, including but not limited to all things on the Coalition. All the sources that we get. These links will be down there, after this live stream. A lot of history has and continues to be made on a daily basis, so we can only bring you a portion from 2 different sources. We've gotten through all 36 pages of this document, believe it or not, in just an hour and change. So, for all of you and all of us, we stream this show every day at 5 p.m. Pacific Time, 6 Mountain, 7 Central, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, respectively. For all of you and all of us, I'm Xander.
Golden Loon.
And you are you, and until you catch us next time, whenever that is, wherever that is, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection. Rate 5 thumbs and subscribe. What's the catchword today? If you're still watching, what word are we going to put in the, chapstick. Put chapstick in the comments if you're still watching and everything. Anyway, toodles!